Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 13 starter stream. We took last week off with the holidays. It was tough getting this covered, but we're back for a must win week 13 in your playoffs. So let's get right to it. I'm going to answer as many of your questions as we possibly can. So, Mike, thank you for being with us, Mike. Full point PPR, Rashee Rice or Christian Watson? That's a great question. I think I'm going to ride this Rashee Rice wave. I think Rashee Rice is the more reliable option at this point in the season. Christian Watson could give you a blow-up game. Could also, the floor could fall out. For like that Kansas City defense is really good. I think a top 10 defense in the league, especially that young secondary they have. So I like Rashee Rice there, but barely. We have Jess in the chat. Noah Brown or Dortch today, half point PPR. If Noah Brown's healthy, I think it's Noah Brown. I really like this matchup, this Houston Texans Broncos matchup today. I think that's one of the games that I'm targeting in DFS. The Denver's defense is not very good against the pass, and I know that a lot of that was front loaded with the schedule and whatnot. But I'm gonna take Noah Brown there. John Newman. Or Newnam, John Newnam. I almost called you Newman from Seinfeld. I apologize. Full point PPR. Olave is active against Detroit, and everybody should know that Olave expected to play today against Detroit or Devin Singletary. If Olave's got to go in your lineup, he just does. This is a matchup against Detroit. Detroit's been involved in some of the biggest shootouts in the NFL this year, and Olave is a critical piece of that offense. So you have to, in my opinion, play Olave if you have him. I know he's dealing with an injury, but you have to put him in your lineup over Devin Singletary if that's the choice. But that's another game that I'm targeting in DFS. That's another blow up game. Any game involving Detroit has the potential to shoot out, even if it is the Saints, right? Even if it is those Prairie Yard, Derek Carr yard Saints, right? There's still going to be big time opportunity there. Anthony, I'm going to mispronounce your last name. Majatka. I can't believe I even tried. Sorry about that. Anthony is in the chat. Juwan Johnson or Brevin Jordan, assuming no Goddard. I'm going to go Juwan Johnson there for a lot of the reasons that I talked about. I know Brevin Jordan is likely going to play a lot more because of the injury to Dalton Schultz. But I'm going to go Juwan Johnson there. Must start DFS QB? Question mark. If you're asking me who I like in DFS, CJ Stroud is always a great option. You can't go wrong. Russell Wilson's kind of a nice option this week. I think he's kind of been better. Sam Howell, I think a good option. So anyway, there's a lot of good DFS QB plays this week, I think. All right. A-Chain over Hall or risk it for the biscuit. I like that. Bruce Arians callback with Dearness Johnson. For some reason, I was thinking David Johnson. I was having a mental, hiccup there. Monday night and Hope ETN is out. Oh, you can't do that. I think you got to go Breece Hall, assuming that's Breece Hall. I know Devon A-Chain's back this week, but I don't know how much they're going to ramp him up. I get it. Devon A-Chain could absolutely blow up. I think maybe it depends on your matchup. Like if you're projected to just lose by a wide, or if you need a home run swing, then A-Chain's definitely your play. But Breece Hall is definitely what I would pick. Oh yeah, I couldn't watch it. I had this whole conversation with my wife, not to make this an Iowa program, but I could not watch that game last night because I knew it was going to happen. I know everybody knows out there what I'm talking about with their beloved teams that they cheer for, and everybody knows that I'm an Iowa guy, but I knew that game was going to be exactly what that game was. 26-0 Michigan. Did not watch a single snap of it. Couldn't do it. It just it hurts me too much, that's the special place we are with Iowa football, at least for me. Rice or Downs, Dolphins defense or Tampa Bay's defense? Oh my gosh, Rice versus Downs. That's a great question. That's very, very close. I think I lean Rice just by a hair, but that's flip a coin. That really is. That's a good question. I'm going to go Rice just to give you a definitive answer. And Tampa Bay or Miami's defense. Let me just look. Miami's playing the Commanders. Commanders can put up some points now. Commanders, they'll give up a bunch of sacks, but that could be a shootout in Washington. Dolphins Commanders low key. Tampa Bay against Carolina. I would probably go Tampa Bay at home, just to be honest with you. Tampa Bay's defense. But those are two really good questions there, Andrew. I appreciate you asking this. Ramondre or Tank, sell. Are you asking me to sell one of those half PPR? I would sell Ramondre if you're asking me to sell. I would start Tank, Dell, and even in a half PPR. That's what I would do. Didier 49er 707. Ernest Johnson, Spears, or Jeff Wilson. That's who you're. Gosh, I'd probably go. It all depends on ETN, right? If we knew ETN was definitively out and not going to play, then Dearness Johnson's your answer. But um, I'd probably go Tajay Spears there. Just with what we know right now, I know that's kind of a blah answer, but that's anyway. Mike really messed up and benched DK. Oh, the Twitter universe was uh flush with memes about people benching DK. Full point. So you're not alone, Mike. You're not alone. We're here with you, and we're here to help you in this difficult time. Okay. Full point PPR. Monty, I'm assuming David Montgomery, Christian Watson, Kirk, or Deontay. Pick one. Oh man. See, the problem with Christian Watson is he in the midst of another one of these blow up stretches? Is he just getting going? Or is he gonna fall back to reality? Oops, there goes gravity. Like, is the bottom gonna fall? This is why I don't trust players like Christian Watson. I just never will, never have. Right? Because you just never know when to start. Like up until this point, he's been a complete bust. And then last week has a good week. And then you're like, well, where was that the whole season? Where was that when I drafted him in the 4th round? Right. And so now you're left sitting here. You got to play David Montgomery, in my opinion, in that matchup, or probably Monty, Kirk, Deontay. But Christian Watson, and it, like, I don't know. I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's got the most upside. So if you need like a home run swing for the fence, then it's Christian Watson. But if you want some stability and some production, like it's Montgomery or Christian Kirk. Like I that's the best way I can answer that question. I'm sorry, Mike, because we could be sitting here next week saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe Christian Watson went off for like another like a DK Metcalf like performance," because it could definitely happen. I don't think it's very likely, but it could happen against a really good Chiefs defense. So anyway, Montgomery, Kirk, or I would go Montgomery and then Kirk, even in a full point PPR. Karen. Hello, Karen. Good morning. Sit 2, the old sit 2. Half point PPR, Moss, A-Chain, Gibbs, Puka, Kyron. Oh my God, you have to sit 2 of those? I'll probably sit Puka and A-Chain because Moss has been like a top 5 running back when Taylor's been out. Kyron Williams is apparently a fantasy football god. And Jahmyr Gibbs, I love this matchup, and I love both of those running backs in Detroit. So that's the direction I would go. I got to speed this up, guys. I got to go like a little rapid fire because we are got a lot of questions coming in. So no worries, Noonam. I want to call you Newman, but your name's not Newman. Jerome Ford or Devin Singletary? Oh God, that's a good question. That's a good question. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's really close. That's really, really close. And I'm looking here. I would probably lean Jerome Ford. Probably would, even though that offense. But I think Singletary has more upside. I'd probably lean Jerome Ford, but I don't love it. Jill, PPR, London, Noah Brown, or Dortch. We have to sit one. I'm probably sitting Dortch because I think Noah Brown's got a ton of upside, and so does Drake London. Russell Wilson versus Purdy, PPR. Oh man. As much as I love Russell Wilson this week, Brock Purdy is the man, so I got to go with Brock Purdy. Jerome Ford versus Deontay Johnson, PPR. Kind of like Deontay Johnson in a PPR league, but it's close. Close on the name. Matika. All right, I got it. I'll try to remember. Adam, Rondale Moore versus Chuba, PPR. Oh boy. Probably Chuba, but it's close. And I don't know. Just full disclosure here. Like I have like a whole setup pulled up, and my computer is malfunctioning pretty severely. So I usually have all this information. Like here we go. I've got it back now. So like with the matchups and stats and player profiler page. So anyway, as a reference guide for me, just to double check things. But anyway, we're back in business. I was scrambling there for a second just to be fully transparent with you. We need to sit one full PPR. Warren, Rashad White, Ramondre, A-Chain. Ooh, boy. See, am I really going to be the guy who's like sit Devon A-Chain and then he goes off again? Because I feel like this is deja vu all over again with Devon A-Chain. But I probably sit Ramondre out of all those options. I probably would sit Ramondre Stevenson, Goner Boy. Okay, Goner Boy again. Half point PPR, A-Chain, Warren, Moss need to start 2. I think I go Warren and Moss, but A-Chain is like your Hail Mary if you're really up against it. Cup, Mixon, A-Chain, Taysom Hill, full point PPR, I'm guessing. First down, reception, need to start 2. In that situation, I would probably go Cup and A-Chain. I actually probably would go A-Chain there because he gives you a lot more upside than Mixon. I don't know. In that offense without Joe Burrow, I just don't know if I trust Joe Mixon. Connor, Puka, Jerome Ford, A-Chain. Okay, I think this is kind of similar. Probably Puka and James Conner, but it's close. Jeff Wilson or Tyler Algier, half point PPR. Oh boy, this is kind of a pukey question. Kind of, I probably go Tyler Algier just because we know that he is, just that Atlanta coach whose name I'm spacing on just loves to use the second option in the offense, the FedEx guy. Everett, Juwan Johnson, or Brevin Jordan, half point. Thanks. No, thank you, Cali Trader 8. Boy, this is the tight end situation that a lot of people are in. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did the F it tight end strategy. F it tight end, because if I don't get Kelsey, if I don't get Andrews, RIP for this season, Hawkinson, right? Then what's the point? And maybe you were lucky enough to draft Kincaid or Sam Laporta late. Definitely take a flyer, but this is the situation a lot of people are in. And I think the answer today is Juwan Johnson. I really do. I think that Lions-Saints game is going to shoot out. I hope I'm right. I'd probably rank it Johnson, Everett, Brevin Jordan. Dearness Johnson or Noah Brown. It all depends on ETN. It really does. And I haven't, last I saw, looking at all the news updates and stuff, looks like ETN's going to play. Looks like he's going to play. So I would probably go Noah Brown just because of what we know right now. All right. Need to hang on to one between Goff and Lawrence to start this week and be my QB rest of season. Who should I rock with? So the question is Goff and Trevor Lawrence. Oh, man. So here's the thing about Jared Goff. He does not like the cold weather. All right. And there's going to be games where he's going to be, I don't have Detroit's. I know they play the Bears again in Chicago. That's going to be cold, right? Trevor Lawrence is just a more talented player. So I think Lawrence down the stretch you're going to be able to trust him more. So I would go with Lawrence for that reason, is even though Goff's having a pretty good season by his standards. Holding out for Goddard this week over Juwan Johnson. Oh man. So that's a tough one. I would probably, I really like Juwan Johnson this week. So if you're, so the Eagles, they're in the afternoon game. If you really like Goddard, I don't know if man, that's tough because Monday Night Football is there's not really Evan Ingram's probably on a team. I was thinking, is there a tight end option that you could pick up? Not probably not. I mean, the safe play is Juwan Johnson, obviously. Unless you could pick up the Philly backup tight end and hope for that, but I don't really like that either because they don't really use the back. They don't use their tight end really if Goddard's not on the field. Christian Watson or A-Chain, thanks for watching on Facebook, Matt. Oh my God, this is the universe explodes kind of question. This is like damned if I do, damned if I don't. This is a great starter sit question that I don't want to answer because I'm going to be wrong no matter what side I'll probably go Christian Watson. You're making me pick Christian Watson, even against a tough Chiefs defense. But this might be the slow rumble to fantasy. Like this could be it for Christian Watson. He could finally be getting going the way that he had that 4-game stretch last year where he was just, I think propelled him to being the wide receiver 9 overall in fantasy football. But both of these are super boom or bust options. I'm just going to point that out to you, but you probably know that already. JP in the chat. Shout out to you, JP. Watson going to be involved with some perfect game script. Yep, probably. Jordan Love's playing a lot better too. I might have to eat it. I was very anti Jordan Love. I was very anti Christian Watson, but Christian Watson, great game last week. Jordan Love playing very well, looking like a competent NFL quarterback. I might have to eat my hat on Jordan Love. So we'll see though. I'm still skeptical. P Money is in the chat. Hopkins, Warren, Tank, Puka, pick 2. Probably gonna go Jaylen Warren for sure. I don't know. Are we to the point? I think we're to the point where I don't know if we can trust Hopkins over Tank or Puka. And I'm probably going to pick Tank Dell. Isn't that crazy? Like I'm picking Tank Dell over Hopkins and Puka, but I think it's the right move. Drop Pickens for Roschon, looking ahead. George Pickens? You're talking George Pickens? Oh, man. That would be tough. But if you need a running back, I do think we saw the Roschon Johnson backfield take over. It all depends on who else is. I don't want to drop George Pickens. I really don't. But if you're deep at wide receiver and you need a running back, then I think the answer is yes, because I think Roschon's going to have that volume going forward because he proved to you, like we've been talking about here on Player Profiler time and time again, he's a great pass blocker. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He can run inside the tackles. He can really do it all. He's not like an elite, like he's not like Devon Achane or Keaton Mitchell. Like he's probably not going to hit a home run like that just when he gets in the open field, but he's a jack of all trades. He's not a master of any of them, but he can do everything really, really, really well. And he's a really good running back. So I think, and he's clearly, to me, the most versatile and talented running back the Bears have. I know Donta Foreman's really good at what he does, running inside the tackles. But yes, if you need a running back and you're deep at wide receiver, I would absolutely do this. But I would have a really hard time dropping George Pickens. I would, because I like George Pickens. I think there's a ton of upside there, even with the way Kenny Pickett's playing, which is better now, a little bit better last week without, Matt Canada. Blame Canada. So anyway, I hope I answered your question there, P Money. Nicholas, hello. Half PPR, Rice, Downs, or Watson. So I answered this question. I lean Rice slightly over Watson, and I think I answered this too. So I'm going to go Rice here. I don't love it but I think the upside is with Christian Watson. I do. But I think it's between Rice and Watson. But so the safe play is Rice. The upside play, if you're outmanned and outgunned, is Christian Watson. Gavin, Sam, Logan Thomas, or Taysom Hill? That's a great question too. But we just published a short not too long ago where I recommend Taysom Hill. It's the F-it tight end strategy. Just Taysom Hill, put him in there in a shootout against Detroit. Yeah, in a dome, right? No concerns about weather. Taysom Hill is going to get some red zone touches, and Logan Thomas is a good option too. But I think the upside is with Taysom Hill today in what I think is going to be a shootout. Lawrence or Purdy? Oh boy, this is another good question. I probably would lean with Brock Purdy. I know the Eagles defense hasn't been what we thought it was going to be. I know they're going to be on the road. I haven't checked the weather. That you might want to keep an eye on that. In the afternoon, the Jaguars are probably going to win pretty handily on Monday Night Football, I would guess. So I think Purdy for all those reasons. But it's close. It really is. Desperate play. Okonkwo or Noah Gray. Oh no. Oh no. You can't pick up Taysom Hill's probably not available. Juwan Johnson's probably not available. I would look for those options. I would probably play Okonkwo. I probably would, but I won't feel great about it just because obviously Kelsey's there. And Noah Gray doesn't get the opportunities that Okonkwo is going to get, even if they are few and far between. Jose is back. DeAndre Hopkins or Taysom Hill, 0.5 point PPR. Wow. Probably Hopkins, but I don't love it. Taysom Hill could have a blow up game. Taysom Hill's like either scores 20 points or 2 points. So it's a extreme boomer bust, but that's the kind of the strategy I've implemented in some of my leagues where I didn't invest in tight end at this stage, and I whiffed on my tight end that I drafted, So George, I like your picture of your dog there. My wife would like that too. She's a huge dog fan. Who are two most valuable stashes? Who are the two most valuable stashes out of these four options? Gainwell, Elijah Mitchell, Dowdle, or Spears? Wow, those are all fantastic stash options. But I think Dowdle and Gainwell for me. Elijah Mitchell hasn't proven that he can handle that kind of workload, even in the San Francisco offense. Like, I get it. But he's a great stash. But Gainwell, like DeAndre Swift has been great up to this point, but DeAndre Swift could, he's had injury problems too. And then that Dallas offense too. I mean, those are all great options, but if I had to rank them, probably Gainwell, Dowdle, Elijah Mitchell, Spears. But it's really, really, really close. All of those are fantastic options to stash. Jamal Hill. We have about 3 minutes left on the air. Just so you know, get those questions in. I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. We have so many people in the chat right now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you like it and if you want more of it. Player Profiler is here for you. Jamal Hill, Ridley, Ford, Warren, Hopkins need to flex, please help. Okay, all right. Ridley, I think you have to start. And I think it's Jaylen Warren going up against Arizona. I think both of those running backs in Pittsburgh are playable. So I would go Ridley, Warren, Hopkins, Ford, probably. That's probably the direction I would go, but that's great. Calvin Ridley's hopefully heating up for you at the time that it matters most. I know I'm counting on him in a few leagues. Eric Herrera Yanez. Juwan Johnson, A.T. Perry, or Elijah Moore, 0.5 point PPR. Oh, man. Whoo. This is a question right here. This is a question. Oh, these are the questions that we live for. Oh, man. Probably Juwan Johnson. I don't know if you can count on Elijah Moore with Dorian Thompson-Robinson at quarterback. I don't know if that's, feasible. So yeah, that's probably the direction I would go, but that hurts you. That hurts me that you're choosing between those options for your probably Juwan Johnson though. Ty, full PPR, pick 3. All right, we got Najee, we got Pickens, we got Hopkins, Samuel, Noah Brown, Drake, London. Okay, so the Falcons have a tough matchup against the Jets. I don't necessarily trust Desmond Ridder, so I'm going to cross him off. I'm going to cross Hopkins off as well because I like some of the options here a little better. I think I'm going to choose Najee Harris, Deebo Samuel, and Noah Brown. Those are the 3 I'm going to choose. But it's tough with Pickens because I don't at this stage, and I don't know how we got here because I was such a big fan before the season. So I'll eat my hat on this one too. Kenny Pickett doesn't look great. But as far as the running game goes, we know that Pittsburgh's going to run the ball quite a bit and throw the ball to those running backs. So that's why I choose Najee over Pickens. But Najee, Samuel, Noah Brown for me. Oh, that's right. It's Joe Flacco. That's a good point. I forgot about that. Good. Thank you, Anthony, for pointing that out. How do we feel about Travis Etienne? Well, if you got him on your team, I think you have to start him. I do, unless you have just an insane other option available to you. If he is healthy, this is a situation to monitor because as of right now, it looks like he's going to play. He might be limited, but it looks like he's going to play. So I think you got to play him if you have him, assuming you don't have a better option. But I need to see your team to tell you what those better options would be. So I think I've answered. I think I've done it. I think I've answered all your questions. We were 30 minutes in. We were about 28 minutes away from kickoff. I wish you all the best in your Week 13 matchup. Hopefully, I hope you win. Wish you the best of luck. And until next week, thank you so much. Again, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button before we get out of here. And before we do, Ben, Godwin, or Logan Thomas, we're going to end the stream on this one. And we're going with Chris Godwin, everybody. Good luck. Happy Week 13. Watch a bunch of football. See you next time. The Bears will not lose this week because they're on a bye week. And guess what? Aaron Rodgers, unlikely to play. He strung us along that whole time just to disappoint us in the end. Typical Aaron Rodgers. Oh, well. Who cares? Nobody cares about Aaron Rodgers. Bye-bye, everybody.